According to the rules of procedure that I find in the yearbook, it states that guests will be heard at 10:30 a.m. or at such time the chairman and the guest, myself, have determined, and the agenda will be laid aside for this purpose. I'm here today representing Willow Creek Township Board to ask to be placed on the agenda for the April 17th meeting. And because you, Chairman Siegler, are a representative of our district, I'm going to address you personally and ask that you allow our township to be on the agenda before any decisions or votes are taken.
I told you last month that that would be.
And
You had your speeches last month, and you're not going to get on them before the board votes.
the reason for that?
Because I'm not going to put you on the agenda before.
You have no other reason for that? I don't believe the Constitution of the United States says that you can cherry pick my First Amendment right.
I'm not. I have it on here for visitors. And guests, right law. You know that, it's been there all this time.
Well, in light of the public policy that is declared to be the public policy of the state of Illinois, that constitutional rights of citizens and organizations to be involved and participate freely in the process of government must be encouraged and safeguarded with great diligence. Information, reports, opinions, claims, and arguments, and other expressions provided by citizens are vital to effective law enforcement and the operation of government and the making of public policy and decisions, and the continuation of a representative democracy. The laws, courts, and other agencies of the state must provide the utmost protection for the free exercise of these rights of petition, speech, association, and mostly government participation. So I'm asking you again, Chairman, will you support Willow Creek Township and allow us to be on the agenda before the votes or decisions are made on the agenda?
Not as this time, no. I've got you listed at the bottom.
Do you want to?
After our vote.
After your vote on what matters?
On windmills.
Okay.
That's what's going to be brought up.
Well, there's other issues that Willow Creek Township is involved in on this agenda.
This one here, I don't have anything here that you're involved in.
I believe we're involved in the Rick Petley petition for restricted land use.
That's right.
Airstrip.
Petition.
Right. And at this point in time, that petition is open pending the decision of the Willow Creek Township Board of Trustees.
Right as of now, I have it on the board for the board to vote on.
Right.
On
Well,
the land use strip.
how can the board vote upon it when they haven't heard of the Willow
We
Creek?
had it last month.
No, we didn't have it last month.
It was sent to the zoning board last month.
It was sent to the zoning board last month. It was sent to the Willow Creek Township Planning Commission where they made their recommendation. And that letter was sent to and presented at the zoning board that our planning commission recommended the landing strip. But that recommendation has to go to our board of trustees. And it's explained in that letter that our board of trustees did not meet until the 10th. So they were unable to make that decision for you. And according to the minutes of the zoning board, they stated that they would wait until that decision, and we would like to present that at the county board meeting prior to your voting.
We can do that
Okay.
for the land use. You're not going to get me to okay your other. You're not
Well,
going to talk prior to the zone for the board.
So you're a representative for our district.
Yes, I am.
Right, so you don't want to represent us in this matter?
I sure do.
So I'm asking you to go to bat for us and allow us to speak on this issue. You can't cherry pick when we can speak or when we can't speak.
I did last month, if you remember. You were in here, and I told you.
I have a bad memory.
Well, that's up to you, whether you have a bad memory or not. I'm just telling you where I'm putting you on the agenda.
Are there any other board members here that wish to speak up and advocate for Willow Creek Township to be allowed to speak on both zoning issues that they're participating in? So no one here will represent
I don't think it's a matter of representing, I think we can represent you as well as you can represent yourself. I don't think we know for a fact we want to be in the meetings. I think this is something that you have to do, and it's this gentleman's decision. You've had a year and a half arguing on the same subject now through the zoning board. The zoning board takes your petitions and everything else and sends them to the county board with their recommendation or without their recommendation. This one was with the recommendation. Now, you're going to argue like you have been for a year and a half for the same thing. We've heard your subjects all the time. You're not going to get there and try to sway the board members. They've already heard your speeches.
Well, I appreciate your comments, and you are authorized to set the time and place and the manner for citizens to address the board. However, you can't keep a citizen from speaking based on what they're going to say.
Oh, that's right.
You're right, and that denies my rights to participate. It's called the Citizens Participation Act.
You may participate.
I'm asking you to participate before any voting or decisions are made.
That's not gonna
So
happen.
that's not participating. And as Mr. Whitslip said, the board should be able to hear my comments, but if they're already discussing and voting, they're not going to be able to do that. I would like to present a letter from the Village of Lee. This is from the President of the Village of Lee, Richard Boris.
I think we've got one coming already.
I was unable to attend, this is dated today, I was unable to attend the executive committee meeting today at 1 o'clock because of my attendance at a FEMA workshop all day and all day tomorrow. I hereby request to speak to the county board at its next board meeting on Tuesday, April 17th, before the Lee County Board votes or considers the wind turbine text amendment. Respectfully, Richard Boris.
I haven't read it yet.
Well, Chairman, I suppose the only recourse that you give us citizens is to file another complaint to the Attorney General's office
It's fine.
in this matter.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next.
Thank you, Mr. Seberg and board members. My name is Giles Calvillage, and I am a resident of Willow Creek Township. I've been following some of the issues regarding wind farms and the text amendment for probably the last 6 months. Been following the newspapers. And one of the greatest things that I think ended up happening about a month ago, actually at the last board meeting, is that you, Mr. Seberg, suggested that it would be a good idea to have a special committee formed consisting of 2 board members from each district to be able to explore this. I believe that Marilyn Schiffer, she was awarded the position of chairwoman for this particular committee. And I remember Monday night, first Monday night, coming here to listen to the proceedings on that. And I can attest that virtually everyone that was in attendance at that meeting really felt that Ms. Schiffer was doing an excellent job, that she was exploring the issues, and she did look at, they did look at both of the opposition from Willow Creek Township and Hamilton Township, and they really began working hard on trying to establish if there was anywhere within this framework that compromise and success might be able to be realized for both the wind turbine farms as well as homeowners that didn't wish to participate, or even homeowners that didn't have sufficient land quantity to be able to participate, to be able to aid in some participation as well by giving permission, let's say, to use their land as part of a back set. I know that that didn't coincide with the direct letter of the law to Willow Creek's amendment, but it would be something to be investigated. Most of us went away that first Monday night really feeling that while everything's not going to be carte blanche, there's significant progress made, and commend Maryland for that. The second Monday night, the following week, we saw that there were some roadblocks that were happening, and the same enthusiasm didn't exist. And that did draw some concern for us. The following day was even worse when we read the newspapers and found out that, in a quote, that I was surprised to find out that Chairman Seaberg didn't care what the special committee had to say. That he was going to accept the zoning board of appeals recommendation regardless. And I felt that that was probably not what is in the best interest of representative government. And hopefully, I know that this isn't a dead issue, and Marilyn hasn't had time to speak today, and I understand that she's going to speak today, I think. I would really encourage that she be allowed to continue with this process, because I think she is making the most headway than anyone else. The community just doesn't feel that the Zoning Board of Appeals is qualified to be able to make the decisions that are as far outreaching for the county as that they're being saddled on trying to recommend, and the feeling of getting direct representative electorate representatives to be able to participate will value the entire organization, the entire county, citizens, business, and everyone, to make it a more fair and honest and above board decision. So I would like to be placed on the agenda for next meeting, next board meeting on Tuesday. Although I'm not exactly sure exactly what I'm going to talk about. I hope it's about praise about how Marilyn Shipard's group is really doing a great job in making progress and encourage such. Is that a possibility, sir?
Did you go to the meetings that they've had for a year and a half on the zoning board?
I've been going for the last 6 months.
Why would you go against the zoning board when they're the ones that take depositions and everything else? We don't.
Well, may I give an honest answer, please?
Sure.
All right. My honest answer is we don't believe that the zoning board is listening to all of the input. We believe, or I believe, let's keep it just to me, because I can only believe what I believe. I can't force anyone else to believe what they believe. I believe that a lot of the information which was against what they were looking for hasn't been considered. We've had PhDs give testimony on noise. This was, it seemed to be disregarded. We had another farm that came in and presented an alternative zoning amendment, which was well written. I didn't agree with everything in it. I don't know that anyone will agree with everything in it. But when it came time to vote on it, the Zoning Board of Appeals have already supported another zone amendment. There's a lot of suspicion that this zoning amendment has been presented by another company, a company which doesn't have roots here in Lee County, and that it's formulated to assist in their business directives with little regard or little concern of the county residents, even the agricultural landowners who ultimately are going to lease their land out. And there is some concern that because of decommissioning processes and so forth, that possibly the county isn't protected as well as it needs to be either. So there's a myriad of issues that I think the county population as a whole has issues with. And I know that Maryland is trying to work this out, so were the other